In today's Clash of Clans video, we take a look at the Hog Riders at Town Hall 12. I'm your host, Judo Sloth, and we are going to be breaking down two expert attacks using the Hog Riders, two different methods in the game, and then you're going to see me try and mimic that success in multiplayer, but you need to know how to use this attack strategy first, so let's dive straight into it. Alrighty guys, the first variation we are showcasing is the Mass Hog Riders. Now this attack strategy was incredibly powerful up until recently when it was nerfed, but it still works against ideal base layouts, such as this one. The second variation you will see is the Queen charge into Hog Riders, but if you find a base where the Town Hall is exposed and you can create pathing for your Hog Riders, you've got to be considering this strategy. So for this base layout, we have the Town Hall pretty exposed. It's over here to the right hand side within its own compartment. If you can mitigate that area, you create pathing for your hogs, but you save onto the Grand Warden's ability, which is vital because you don't have to use it for your Hog Riders on the Town Hall. Now, how do we come into this area? Where do we create the funnel? Now, there's an army camp here, and whenever you see an army camp, do consider using your funnel in that area because it's so easy to take down, and obviously it's such a wide tile space. So a baby dragon is used over in that area, whilst the king powers down the other side, meaning that the queen can come straight into the base relatively easily. Funnel here, let's dive into it and we will continue to break down the attack as we move through. If you are new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on daily Clash of Clans videos. Now we do use an ice golem here, or the attacker from CrunchTime does. Reason being, 15 troop capacity can really help get so much more value. Look at the defenses in this area. I know I said look for exposed town halls, but what I mean is easily being able to take that out. There's still a lot of point defense in this area which will be battering down on your heroes. So 15 troop capacity can be good to tank, but also when the ice golem obviously goes down, you have that freeze effect as well, which should be able to clip most of the defenses in that area. If that helps you get an extra defense or two, that is amazing, reducing the DPS onto the Hog Riders, but also pathing then is so much better. Look at the king down the bottom. What an MVP, taking out that wizard tower as well, and at this point we can start the Hog Riders. There's nothing else to worry about with the heroes. Yes, try and be conscious of what they are doing, what they have or haven't got, so you know what's left up, but that's where a spotter comes in with your attack as well. In terms of the Hog Riders, get them in a big wave fashion with whatever is left. We've narrowed down the base here to this area, so we can just bring the Hog Riders in through this area. They will naturally funnel themselves down and into the base. So as they come in, you've then got to just be cautious of splash damage. Use that heal early on when there's the multi, the bomb tower, a lot of damage. You don't want to lose a lot of Hog Riders early, and as they come forward, we reinforce with a stone slammer. Now, where do you use your stone slammer? We talked about having that narrow path for the Hog Riders to come through. Notice how now the defenses kind of come out over, whereby it widens the path. So that is where you bring in the stone slammer. It's to try and help keep that path narrowed so that the stone slammer takes out these defenses on the side, keeping that channel of buildings where the Hog Riders just move straight down. They don't then start to split up. So when you're looking at your stone slammer, that is where you want to be using it. A lot goes on in the center here, but it's really not as bad as you think. A rage spell will be used right in the core of the base, and you want to time this with your Grand Warden's ability if possible. The reason being, your Hog Riders are incredibly fast at this point. Make them not invisible. what's the word we're looking for, guys? Make them where they are not vulnerable. The Grand Warden is protecting them. They can power themselves forward, and you're also skelly spelling the Queen. So we can use the skelly spell in combination with the Rage. The Hog Riders get the benefit of the Rage with the Grand Warden's ability. It is a win-win situation. So the Hog Riders power forward there as they spread out. That's also an important note. As the Hog Riders spread, that's the best time to use the Grand Warden's ability, because you're getting maximum benefit as they move apart. That is why we now have to use 2 heal spells to cover the Hog Riders. But if you need to, obviously do that. Let the Stone Slammer do its job. It will reinforce Hog Riders at the end, and you should also have another heal spell. Ideally, 4 heal spells is what you're after here. A Rage spell, Skelly spell, sometimes you can take a freeze if it means you can freeze the Queen and the Eagle Artillery, but you will be using that Grand Warden's ability when the Eagle is firing down anyway, so it is going to help you. Final point to mention is cleanup. Don't forget about it. It's very easy to forget about, and it's very easy to time fail with the Hog Riders, but that's the mass Hog Rider attack. How about the Queen charge? Let's break that one down for you. Now, I know we put a heavy focus on the Town Hall in the first attack, which is important for any Hog Rider attack. You can, though, use the Grand Warden's ability to get through that, and that is demonstrated in this variation. The Queen Charge has to do what any kill squad is designed to do: create pathing for the Hog Riders, but also take out value. In this case, we want to get into the center of the base. That allows us to get the Eagle, very key defense when you don't have too many Hog Riders. If you're not doing the mass Hog Rider attack, you've got to make sure that your Hog Riders aren't taking significant damage from that Eagle. So it is key to get. But we can also take the Queen, the CC troops, and 2 multis should we get into the center. Now, you could potentially bring the Queen into the bottom here. That would allow you to get the Town Hall as well, but it's incredibly difficult once she gets into the middle. She's going to have all of the Expos firing at her. The healers are going to be relatively under fire from the multis as well. It's just very dangerous to get to, not to mention that the Hog Riders then have an incredible amount of splash damage if you were to come around the outside. Think about, though, where is easy to create the funnel for your Queen. And there's kind of this little island to the top here, which does work out ideal. The King coming down this area, the baby dragon on the right hand side means the Queen can come straight in, takes out a couple of wizard towers and bomb towers en route. So let's dive into that, and we will break it down as we move along. So the King is going to be used to create that funnel, but take note here as to when the ability is used as well. Sometimes it's not about using the ability to help the King, but in order to power him forward to create that funnel for the Queen. Very much what happens here. Look at the Queen. She took that little step, and the King's ability helped to push through. Wall breakers start to come in, and we have to use a Rage here, which is for a couple of reasons in my opinion. We've got to make sure that this wall goes down to allow the Queen access into the base, otherwise she'd probably turn back out from there once she'd taken out the buildings, or potentially she wouldn't. She might go through this wizard tower, who am I kidding? But that's extra time anyway, guys. And basically the Rage hurries the Queen up here because the healers are attacking, or the air defense is attacking the healers, sorry. So we're trying to get that down ASAP. We're trying to get the Queen in. We've got quite an extensive Queen charge here. You have to focus on time as well. So once that goes down, the Queen has nowhere else to go but through the wall. We actually want her to go through the wall in this case, and she will get herself to the Eagle Artillery. Now at this point, they're not taking as much damage. Yes, we need some rage spells, but we've only got set point defenses on the Queen at any one time, which is perfect. When you're using the Queen charge, you don't want to have so much damage that you can't deal with it. If we did come into the bottom, now the CC troops have been triggered. Imagine fighting all of the defenses down there with the CC troops. Giga Bomb would be on as well. Queen would just go down, really. It's an unrealistic Queen charge without some more reinforcement. Sometimes it's good to be ballsy like that though and just send your Queen in. What would you have done? Would you have tried it? Would you have tried it? I'll be interested to know. But as the Queen comes forward, enemy Queen is down. Eagle is down, 2 multi-target Infernos are about to go down. We commit the other rage, and as soon as we've committed that final rage, Queen's ability is used, burnt, rage is down. There's nothing else we can do now with that Queen. Shift your focus to the Hog Riders. That's one thing that rarely gets talked about in strategies. But you could have the most complex attack in the world, but you've got to be able to perform that in the moment. So being able to simplify an attack whilst keeping them complex elements within it is perfect. So now he knows, get on over to the Hog Riders, Queen can't do anything else. Stone Slammer comes into the Tesla farm. Do not let a Tesla farm surprise you. It will do massive damage to your Hog Riders. Now, could have used a Lalo here, arguably. There is a air defense at the top which has gone down. We'd have pathing down to this one, cross to this one. No sweepers. Could have potentially Lalo'd. Sometimes it comes down to personal preference. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you would have used here. But the Hog Riders, it's all about spring traps. Now, there are some cases, I mean, look at that. 3 Hog Riders straight off. That is base design at its best. Trying to think that Hog Riders would be brought in here, as they are, because you don't want your main pack of Hog Riders coming out to come back into the base. You want to be efficient here, so get a couple of Hog Riders onto this, which will then merge into the main pack. Good base identification by the defender there, and you would always want spring traps. Let's say from this air defense, you'd want one bang in the middle here. The Hogs are going to move straight forward here. That gives you the best chance of springing off Hog Riders. We've got one down to the bottom, only catches 1 Hog Rider there. So you've got to take note when you're using Hog Riders that yes, you will lose a few. It's inevitable that you are going to hit some spring traps. Check this one out. Where would you have the spring trap, guys? Again, right here gives him the best possible opportunity. Bang. 3 Hog Riders gone. Maximum amount for a spring trap. So do take that into consideration when you're attacking. If you are coming up against a good base, maybe you know where the spring traps are, Hogs might not be the best option. But if you can narrow the path, as we did here, we didn't really talk about it, but feel free to rewind and have a quick look. The pathing for the Hog Riders was in completely a narrow path whereby they could come through and the heal spells were used effectively. One key note here, miner onto the clan castle. Any high HP building which is sitting in the center, you can easily time fail with, so use a miner or a minion, something to get in and take that down. Miner is normally the method of choice. If push comes to shove, you can always use that miner to distract a back end wizard tower, for example. But another really good example of the Hog Riders here. But the time has come for me to get into multiplayer and see if we can replicate this success in a little bit of a fun attack now. Okay, now that you have seen 2 of the war attacks broken down on how the experts do it with the Hog Riders, let's attack in multiplayer. Using this composition, I am going to use the Queen Charge technique. I just find it more fun, and we will be taking some Royal Ghosts because they are incredible at funneling, and if the Queen Charge is working well and she is distracting defenses, maybe we can sneak 1 or 2 in order to take out them defenses as well, before hopefully finishing off the base with Hog Riders. We are in the clouds right now. It has been taking a little while, so let's come back when we have a base to attack. Okay, no joke guys, I have been in the clouds for around about 45 minutes, so we are just going to attack this base. Man, it is crazy, and it just so happens to all have single target Infernos. Marvelous. That just means that our Queen Charge will not be as effective. The Town Hall on this side probably should go down, otherwise the Hog Riders will struggle, but it's definitely easier to charge into that Eagle. You know what, I think we've got to come from this side. I don't think there's any other way to do it. Let's use our Royal Ghosts here to set up the funnel initially. We can power into that single Inferno. We do have some freeze spells in order to help. Let's use 1 more Royal Ghost here, followed by the King, the Wrecker. Decided to put the King in because what I think here is I can protect the Wall Wrecker. I can get a good enough funnel that then I can press that King's ability. Oh, great. Single locked onto my King. Now let's press the ability. When the King comes forward, we can use the Queen. No Queen. No, do not go on the outside of the base here. This would be a disaster. Quickly had to put that Royal Ghost in. Let's use the poison onto the Clan Castle troops. Let's quickly get my healers in. Oh, they're going to the king. No, 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 no. Go to the queen, go to the queen. Yes, they have gone to the queen. What can we do with this Royal Ghost? Let's use it onto the cannon and arch tower down there. Singles are going to fry our troops at this point. I don't know what to do, guys. We can use the rage. Hopefully the queen can get through this area. She can get down to the single. We can take that out. Oh gosh, this is scary, scary stuff. Okay, let's bring the Hog Riders in from this bottom area now with the Grand Warden. We've got to hope to get through this. Let's freeze the single. Tried to be clever and get the Eagle Artillery at the same time there, but it did not happen. We can rage the Queen here. Going to have to press that ability. Now let's go with the Grand Warden's ability. Try and catch all of them Hog Riders as they come through that area. In with the rest of them. Let's go with the rage for the Hog Riders in the center. We've got one more heal which I will use down to the wizard tower. Do not tell me that we are going to get this, guys. I can use one more balloon, try and do anything down to the bottom of the base here. I think we are going to get it. Archer up to the top. We've got minions which we can help with cleanup. Not really anything that we can do. There is a cannon there which I hadn't noticed, so we can use the minion to do that. Wizards are continuing to clean at the bottom of the base. I will use a miner towards the elixir storage down there. Actually, let's use it across to the right hand side because the Hog Riders have got it done. Man, that was a crazy attack. I know it wasn't a maxed out base, however, with 3 single target infernos, I think that took quite a lot of adaptations to get that done. 20 seconds, 20 seconds, we've got a miner. Oh, we're going to time fail. Oh, the whole part of that video I was telling you. Make sure you have the cleanup. Come on, Hog Riders, you can do it, my friends. Queen is there. 3 structures, 10 seconds. They are going down fast. I think we might just nick it. We do. A perfect 3-star to finish off the video. Man, that was insane. If you do want to see when we broke down the Queen charge into Lava Loon, I'm going to link that video for you here. Again, it was crunch time. They were incredible. Lots of brilliant attacks. That wraps it up for this one. We will see you here again tomorrow, guys. Peace out.